Bring in the angels.
Goldylocks Productions broadcasts universal cosmic frequencies that unlock, awaken, and expand the consciousness of our worldwide viewers and listeners.
You are tuning into the Goldylocks Productions presentation of the Angels and Healing Light Show. Sit back, relax, and be open to receive the angelic messages and healing channeled through your host, Laura Romeiro.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the Angels and Healing Light Show. It's another beautiful Tuesday morning. The year's almost over. Let's have a hello and amen for that one. So I hope you're all doing great, but it's wonderful to have you here today. I have a very special guest with me this morning, and I know that so many of you will recognize her name. She's always making wonderful, supportive, kind and loving comments on our show. She's part of our Angels and Healing Light family. That's Ruth Soltman, and she is here today. We're going to talk about angels. We're going to talk about her brand new book, and we're going to talk about so many beautiful things. We've just got a lot to share. So welcome, everybody, and I'd like to wish a welcome to Ruth. Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome. It's so good to have you on this side of the camera.
I'm so excited to be here.
Well, we're very happy to have you here too. And when I heard about your book, I thought that, I'm getting all goosebumps now, and I just feel that you have a very important message to share with people. And so that's why I'm so happy to have you here to talk about that.
Oh, thank you.
Ruth, so folks, let me just tell you a little bit about Ruth. She's had a lifelong passion for writing and a very empathic understanding and deep compassion for the human condition. And this, you can see that not only in her writing, but in her comments and questions as well. She's very dedicated to helping others wake up and realize the truth of who they are so that they can live an authentic life, something that so many of us are trying to do. But as I've said, life doesn't come with an instruction book, but Ruth she has written one. So it's very helpful. Also, you're an angel Reiki practitioner, a Reiki master, and an angel card reader.
Yes.
And you live in the Houston area as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
So many angels everywhere, ladies and gentlemen. Hello, Melissa. Hello, Maureen. Oh, let's see. Who do we have joining us today? Hi there, dear. You're washing the windows, Melissa. Great day for it. Well, tell me about, you've got this beautiful book here, and I want to show it to everyone. It's called Metamorphosis, A Journey of the Soul, and beautiful cover. Oops, covering you up there, Ruth.
Oh, that's okay.
So this is it's a perfect cover for a perfect book. So tell us a little bit about how you came to writing this book. And I know that some of your questions over the last year were kind of making sure that you were on the right path as you were writing this book, if that was the right thing to do for you.
Yes. Well, I've been divinely guided to write it for a long, long time. And it's just been in the last several years that I actually started to listen. And this year, when all of the COVID started and everybody was home for so long, I kept getting that voice every day that said, publish a book, publish a book, publish a book. So I finally did. And it's been written over many years as well. You can tell from the different experiences. They date back several years. And it's just been such an amazing, amazing journey. It really has. And every step of the way, I've been divinely guided by my angels and my guides. And, when I was struggling with my cover, because I had a couple different ideas, and they would let me know which one was the right one. And since I did this cover, I've had so many comments from people. They absolutely love it.
It's beautiful.
I think it's fitting with the title. It says it all.
It's absolutely beautiful. It's very striking. And, what better representation of metamorphosis than the butterfly family? But this is a beautiful moth, but absolutely gorgeous. And so many times what we go through in life resembles all of those changes that butterflies and moths go through. It's pretty difficult, turns them literally inside out, knocks their block off, and they have to start over, literally start over again. But the end result is so beautiful. It takes a lot of courage and faith in order to do that.
And we become something totally different than with what we started.
Oh, that is so true. And I think that happens to us so many times during life, that we become something different than what we started, and it's
Definitely.
all about growth. So you were guided to write this book just from intuitive feeling, because you felt that it would be cathartic? What was your driving force to do this?
Mainly, my intention has always been to help other people that are going through the same kind of spiritual awakening. Because when I started having like a lot of the physical symptoms, I had no one around me that had a clue. Nobody knew what was going on. Nobody that I could turn to that had the same kinds of experiences. And I felt very alone. And when you're going through that process of awakening and you're learning all these new things and you're coming to the realization of who you are, it's really exciting, but it can be a really scary place too if you're all by yourself. So my intention was always to let people know they're not alone, and that, a lot of people will have had some of the same experiences as me, and some people will be completely different. But I think it's really important for people to know that there's someone out there that's gone through it and can understand. And, people can send me their questions anytime they want to.
Well, you make a lot of, so in some of the in your table of contents, one of the things you talk about is self-care and caring for yourself. The awakening process, and some of the things that you go through, like here you mention, the process of awakening is not just a spiritual journey. It is a complete metamorphosis of the self, spiritually, emotionally, mentally, and physically. And as you say, everything is broken down and rebuilt from the ground up. It's not about learning anything. I love this. It is not about learning anything new. It's more a process of seeing what has always been present, and you weren't able to bring it into focus before because your ego was always in the way. And so as you learn to live from a place of unconditional love, you really do see things very differently. And I think that everybody that's been through this can agree with that and understand that.
Mm-hmm.
And I was very fortunate when I was going through this process. I can remember times of feeling, we call it the ascension flu, and just feeling absolutely miserable physically and no idea why, exhausted. And then alternatively, so restless and full of energy that you can barely sit still.
Right.
It's a challenging process, but I had somebody to tell me what to expect. And so I was fortunate in that aspect of it. I'm like, oh, this is what's happening. And sometimes it starts so subtly that you don't realize exactly what's going on until boom. So you were able to go through that and write your experience. And Ruth really does a great job of explaining these in very succinct terms that just make you feel so comfortable and at peace.
Well, thank you.
You really do. And you mentioned another thing that I found really important for people to remember or realize is that when you're going through this growth process, you begin to see things differently, including people, and relationships begin to change. And that's sort of a natural process as well. It can be very difficult and bring on a big sense of loss. True. But in the end, when you trust yourself and you have faith, what is the best thing to do. That when you're sometimes losing relationships, but on the other hand, there's always something that replaces it that's even bigger and better and brighter. And that's what we have to remember, right?
That's right. And it's all about energy too. The people that are starting to open up, their vibration is going to get higher. And so they're not going to be attracted to people with a lower vibration anymore, which sometimes a lot of their friends, that's how it is. And that's why you move away from each other, because you're gravitating more towards a higher vibrational being.
And we always have the choice to either stay put or move on.
Yes,
we have to remember that. So if you don't want to, if you're not ready to make those changes, then you don't have to. And when you're ready, the timing will be right.
That's right.
And you'll know it.
That's very true. Very true. You instinctively know. And then things will just fall into your path that lead you right where you need to be.
Oh, gosh, yeah. Things and people. Oh, yeah. It's a beautiful thing. It's like Christmas almost every day.
That's true.
Ruth, tell me about, you mentioned meeting Neil Donald Walsh. Can you tell us about that?
I would love to. Well, he was a huge factor in my awakening back in the 90s when I read Conversations with God, Book 1. And I've just been amazed by this man. I mean, just the fact that he listened and he wrote the books that he did, I'm sure people probably thought he was crazy,
Sure.
But he actually listened and he did what he was guided to do. And I'm just amazed by that. And so shortly after I moved to the Houston area, he was going to be at a local church in Houston and give a talk and do a book signing. So I bought a ticket and I went. And I was so excited sitting there waiting for him to come out. And when he came out, you could hardly even see him because all you could see was this beautiful white light all around him. I mean, it was such a feeling that it would just immediately make you tear up. It was very, very powerful. And then when he started talking, he talked about he was going to do this meditation. And he said, now some of you will feel nothing with this meditation and others of you will feel the love of God. I thought, wow, that'd be really cool. I hope I'm one of those people. So he starts doing this meditation, and all of a sudden, it was like the roof of the church opened up, and there were these beams coming down from the sky, this very, very warm feeling, and the most incredible, unconditional love I have ever felt in my life. And I just sat there overwhelmed with emotion, just in tears through the whole entire thing. And it was the most moving experience I've ever had like that. And then afterwards, I got in line for book signing, and I must have been in line an hour and a half. It was a long time. I was way at the end. And all these people were up there, bombarding him with things. And I get up there and, as I'm in line, this little voice keeps telling me, thank him. Tell him thank you. I thought, what? And he kept saying, thank him for writing his book. And he had another book out at the time, too, which he was promoting. And I thought, well, what is he going to care what I say, And I get up there and he's writing in my book. And I said, I just wanted to thank you for writing this book. He stops writing. He looks up at me and he goes, thank you. And the look on his face and the sound in his voice, I knew it was something that I was supposed to do. And afterwards, I was like really happy that I listened because, we hear that voice all the time, but we don't always choose to listen. And it was one of the times that I did. And for whatever reason, it was something that needed to be said at that time. So I just thought that was pretty cool.
That's beautiful. That sounds like an absolute, that's obviously a life-changing experience.
It was.
And when you choose to follow that direction, that guidance, those, loving voices that give you that guidance and inspiration and intuition, you just open up to a whole new way of living, as you have obviously done. You've obviously chosen that.
Yes.
And so you're able to help people by choosing to do that. You have found multiple ways of helping people, not only on their path, but I think recognize that inside of them is, as you say, everything you need. So you're not learning anything new. You're just able to see it. And so helping people take the sunglasses off, if you will, is phenomenal. And everybody that needs to hear your message will be drawn to you. And it will come to you. There will be others that will help them get there for you. So
Well, it's funny. Oh, go ahead.
No, you may.
was going to say, when I first started writing, and that voice would tell me, you need to write this book. And I would think, well, who am I? What do I have to say that somebody's really going to want to hear? But then as I started writing and as I started putting it out there, I got a lot of comments from people that said, oh, I've been through that. I'm so glad to know that it's not just me. So then I knew right away that I should have listened, and I'm glad I did.
Oh, so am I.
Mm.
There's some other topics that you cover beautifully about forgiveness. You run through some exercises on forgiveness, which are so important, but so simple. And basically writing very short letters to people that you feel you need to forgive, forget. But the importance of it is so well stated. And if I may, just for a minute here, and what you say is, writing a letter to each person that while you're coming from your place of ego or mind. And I love that you say, express your anger and disappointment in the way that you felt you were treated. Get mad, yell at them, tell them what they did and how they made you feel, and you'll feel a lot better. So it may take a few minutes, but do it with each person. And then once you are done writing the letters to that person, it's time to do the exercise to forgive and let go and move on. And it's really simple. It's just letting them know that, you've hurt me in a way that made a change in my life, or I will no longer let the pain you caused me in the past cause me pain in the present. I love this. So you write to, dear person, I will no longer let the pain you caused me in the past cause me pain in the present. I release this pain, anger, and hurt, and I heal my heart, and I move forward. And we release and let go. And what you say here is that once you release all of that, that sense of lightness that you feel, that sense of love that you feel is able to come through and grow, that was suppressed. And now it's released and let go. Forgiveness is so important because it's so draining and so suppressive, I think.
And a lot of times the person that you feel did you wrong, they don't acknowledge that, and you don't get any kind of closure from it.
No.
So for me, when I did the exercises, it made such a huge difference, and a huge difference in the way I felt towards the person too. I could let all of that garbage go and just see them from a total place of unconditional love. And then I could start realizing why things happened like they did, where they were at when they did this or did that. And it completely changes how you feel about the situation.
And sometimes those things help us grow as well.
True.
Tell me about, I'm going to just change the subject a little bit here, but tell me about your angel card reading. Tell us about that.
Well, I
have a particular fondness for that, as you know.
Oh, I know you do. I started doing those probably earlier this year. And you can access that information from my website, RuthSoltman.com. And I feel guided, something I felt guided to do for a long time. But for a long time, I didn't really trust the information that I was getting, which the more I do it, the more I do trust. And I would love to be able to see the angels, like physically with my eyes, but I don't. I feel them. Mine is all about the feeling. I can feel the presence of their energy. I can feel the presence of their message, and it's just amazing.
Well, I'm on board with you. I would love to really be able to see them in, just as you and I see each other. I see them in different forms and energy in my mind's eye, but I'd love to see them with my physical eyes. And someday, I imagine, we will be able to, because when I was starting doing this, I had to ask for a lot of help from them, and everything that I've asked for in terms of communicating them, they've given me. And so I know that in time, when the time is right, I will be able to do that.
I believe that.
Yeah.
Well, I've always talked to the angels ever since I can remember. Every single day, I have conversations with them all the time. And I think I was more in the beginning about just talking to them and not really listening. But I listen now. Sometimes they talk to me before I even say anything. So I think my communication is pretty open with them now.
It makes a big difference, doesn't it?
It sure does. It sure does. You can handle anything. They just guide you exactly where you need to be, but all you got to do is ask for their help.
And how hard is it to ask for their help? It's not.
No.
It's just, I always tell people that if you will, from your heart, ask the angels to be part of your life and to help you, your life will change. And it takes about 30 seconds.
It does.
And that's all. It's about 30 seconds. And you just, it's amazing when you turn around and look back at how things were before and how they are now. Oh, so much more.
Right.
Easy and fun and loving and bright. Kindness. I can't imagine ever going back. And my hope for every person on this planet is that they will be able to feel the love and the energy and hear the words and the love from the angels and let their life become easier and more beautiful. And
now, I have a question for you. Do you see energy?
Sometimes.
Yeah. I do too. And I didn't know up until about maybe 15 years ago that that's what it was, but I remember seeing it as a child all the time. But I just couldn't describe what it looked like.
It's sporadic, and sometimes I do, and it's not right. It's not always immediately. I'm not always immediately cognizant of what it is. I know it's something, but I tend to roll it around in my brain first, and then, oh, that's what that was. Well, that was cool. Can I see it again? But yeah, like you, I tend to hear and feel most strongly.
I did a meditation one time where we were supposed to meet our guardian angel, and it was Archangel Michael. And he was the most magnificent being I've ever seen and has the most amazing love and energy. And I found out a few years ago that when I was a child, I had an imaginary friend. And the name Michael has always been my favorite name ever since I can recall. And I think it was you that told me one time that you pulled a card for me and it was Archangel Michael. And he said that he has always been with me even when I was a child. And I got this immediate goosebumps from head to toe. And I immediately knew he was the one I talked to when I was a child.
Oh, how beautiful.
And so it gave me like great confirmation for that. So that was amazing.
Oh, he's my favorite. He's my absolute favorite.
Mine too.
I love all my angels, but he is just, I don't know what it is about him. He's just able to communicate in so many different ways. He's able to be so many different things, fierce and hysterical at the same time.
Very protective.
Very protective, very compassionate. To me, he's got a very dry sense of humor, but at the same time, he's no nonsense. He's just able to do it all.
Yeah.
Wow. Let's see. So we have Kimberly with us, Elizabeth, Kathy. Good morning. Hi, Kavita. Beautiful. We have lots of beautiful messages from everybody this morning saying hello, love and light, and some spiritual awakenings that were had physical manifestations. Ooh. Interesting. Elizabeth said she had chills when we were talking. Good morning, Kristen. She's saying, hello, Laura and Mom. All right. So hello to my mother. Hi, Mom. I got to say hi to my mom.
Hi.
Hey, everybody. Oh, cool. So, Ruth, what are your favorite angel cards?
Honestly, I don't know the names of them, but I have several decks. I think... I have one that's, I think, Archangels and Ascended Masters. But I'm real bad with names, so it flies in every direction in my life, not just with people, but names of other things. And I was going to get my cards out this morning, just in case you asked me, and I forgot.
That's okay.
But they're
I'm just always curious.
pictures are so amazing.
Yeah.
And the messages and everything.
They're a wonderful tool for us that need that physical validation.
That's true.
And I find so many times that when I do a reading and get a message from someone, I pull the card afterward and it's the exact message in color, in print. So that really helps people when they see it with their eyes. It helps really validate for them. I love that. Hello, Sujata. Nice to see you. We have some international folks here today, this morning, Ruth. So everybody that's just joining us, I have Ruth Soltman with us this morning. She is the author of Metamorphosis, A Journey for the Soul. And you can get this on Amazon, and is it on your website too, Ruth? Or
you can if you order from my website, I'll send you a dedicated copy.
Oh yes, I need one, a nicely autographed one from you one of these days.
You will get one.
So it's a really wonderful book that guides you through your spiritual journey. It helps heal past issues, remove blocks, and it's all about healing. It's all about growing. And Ruth says that you can change your life and be who you were meant to be, the authentic self. And I love your guidance in here too about, the way we were brought up. Sometimes sort of everything had to be inside the box. So helping us to move forward thinking and being outside of the box.
It's hard to change those thoughts when that's the way you were raised all your life.
Sure. And I know good reasons for that. Safety, learning, and all sorts of things. But at some point, we need to be able to color outside the lines, so to speak.
Definitely. I mean, there really is no box.
No. I know that it's more of an ever-growing circle.
Yes. That's a really good way to put it.
An ever-growing circle. I like that. And when we talk about being happy, you write in here that you cannot be happy when you're trying to live up to someone else's expectations of who you are.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot be happy when you're living to impress others with your stuff. You cannot be happy when you don't love yourself unconditionally. And we talk about loving yourself first so many times. And you cannot be genuinely happy if you don't accept yourself for who you are. And your reminder that no thing can make you happy. No one person can make you happy. So it's really important, as we've talked about so many times on the show, is making yourself happy. If you find yourself unhappy, then you need to do that work to find out why. Is it the energy around you? Is it the place around you? What can you do to make those changes so that you feel satisfied and happy with yourself?
Yes. And you have to choose to be happy. I mean, every single day. It is a choice.
That's true.
You can have storms going on around you in your life, but you still have that peace of mind and that happiness inside that those things don't affect. It's not always easy, but you have to make a mindful decision to do that.
And if you don't, then you run the risk of having someone else and something else run your life. And then here we go. Then you're back in the box again, right?
That's right.
Tell me what else is coming up in your future.
Well, I'm working on, I have another book that's all about unconditional love. I'm hoping that'll be done or out by the end of the year. And there's something else I had been guided to do for a long time. And I'm doing some I am manifestation cards. And I had been guided for this for a long time. I even had an extra confirmation from a total person who knew nothing about it, which was pretty cool. So I did know I was on the right path with that. And the I am statements are so powerful because whatever you put after that, that's what you're claiming. So with what I have learned from manifestation and trying to manifest things, you have to be very, very specific. And you cannot have any blocks. And you can have blocks from other lifetimes that you don't even realize. So in the I am statements that I'm using for my cards, they address all of that. So I feel like they might be very helpful in helping people remove blocks to past issues and be able to manifest more and move on in their life, in their spiritual journey.
So how, and so removing those blocks, what sort of exercises do you recommend to do that? Is that a meditative exercise? Is that the affirmations? Is it just having a good long talk with yourself and figuring out where your life is and where you want to go? What sort of things do you recommend for that, Ruth?
I would say all of the above. It just depends on your situation, because I have used each one of those. It took me a long time to get down to some very deep issues that I had that I didn't even know I had. And one of them was that I was not worthy or that I wasn't enough. And I didn't even know that that was an issue until I dug very, very deep. I mean, I had uncovered other things and felt that I healed them, but things still weren't moving around in the direction that I wanted them to. And I wasn't manifesting the things that I wanted. And then I realized that the energy I was putting out there is I was telling the universe that I was not worthy. So of course, I'm not going to attract those things to me. And once I dealt with that deep issue, that was more a lot of soul searching, and the I am positive statements really help. Affirmations are amazing. And you can't do them once or twice. You need to do them at least, I would say, 21 days, because it takes 21 days to create a habit or break a habit. And they have worked amazing in my life.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What sort of things were you able to change?
Well, mostly the way I felt about myself.
Okay. Very important.
Yes.
The most important thing.
Empowering myself and knowing that I'm on my right path and where I'm supposed to be. I was able to change that, because before I was just kind of like, I don't know, maybe, yeah, I'm not sure. But I know I'm right where I need to be, and I'm headed in the right direction, down the right path. And it just really helped me to see that. It makes a huge difference when you feel comfortable and empowered in what you're doing and what you feel you need to do, because otherwise it's really hard to try and do any of that stuff. Even when you get to the point where this is it, I feel very empowered, this is what I'm supposed to be doing, I'm on my right path, there's always still going to be a little doubt,
Sure.
Yeah. And the intuition, listening to my inner guidance, was the best choice I ever made in my life, with everything, with every little aspect. I mean, whether it's like, should I go for a walk right now? No. Okay, well, I'll wait till later. Oh, look, this woman just got attacked by a dog. Oh, glad I wasn't there. I mean, it's every little thing. You can make every choice and decision in your life based on your intuition. It will never lead you wrong.
That's a very powerful statement. That's a very important statement. And let's see, what are they saying about this? So understanding that it's not always easy to understand the reasons behind the answers that you get, or sometimes the answers themselves. So the angels are saying right now to, yes, empowering to follow your intuition, but don't forget that many times we are the engine behind your intuition. And when you cannot understand or be clear about the information that you get, take a moment and take a breath and focus on your heart and say, what? Go ahead and ask for clarification, and we will tell you. The problem is that when you doubt yourself, you start having second thoughts. That's when things start to get muddled. Mm-hmm. So just be clear and ask, and the angels will guide you so much.
And they do.
Always. Oh, they do. They do. And some of us get the answers in our heads. Some of us feel it in our bodies. Some of us hear. We get all that information in whichever way is the best for you. So you have to remember, ladies and gentlemen, that we all get this information in a different way. And if you're not getting clear information, then take some time, some meditation, and determine what sort of way you get your information. Mm-hmm. Physically, mentally, do you hear it? Do you see it? And let that be okay, whatever way that is. And remembering that things get added on as you go along. So as you're more open to receiving information in one particular way, more will start to come on as well. That growth will be there. That's
And
just more growth.
your intuition doesn't always give you the answers that you think you want to hear.
That's a big thing right there.
It is. I think that's one reason why a lot of people don't always listen to it, because it's not really what they want or think is going to happen. But anytime I've ever followed that gut feeling, it's never, ever, ever steered me wrong. It's only when I don't listen that I, go the wrong way.
And we have all done that, haven't we?
Oh, yes.
So we've got some more people joining us. Good morning, Sarah, Ludi. We have John and Tony. Good morning, everybody. It's good to have you here. And we're talking with Ruth Soltman, who is another angel lady, another angel lover, an author of Metamorphosis, A Journey for the Soul. She's writing cards on manifesting. I am manifestation. And do you have a title for your book yet?
So far, the ABCs of Unconditional Love.
Okay. And tell us why that's important, unconditional love.
Well, I always thought, as I was growing up, I always knew my parents loved me unconditionally. And it wasn't until maybe 10 years ago that I met someone who was not loved unconditionally by their parents. I just always thought that's how it was. I didn't know there was anything different, because that's what I always experienced. Then I started to realize that there were a lot of people in this world that have never experienced unconditional love. And if they haven't, how are they going to have it for themselves? So it is so key and important to love yourself unconditionally. It changes everything in your life. It deepens all the love you have for every other living being. And it deepens your connection with yourself and with the divine. I just feel like it's so important. And a lot of people don't even realize that they don't do that they don't love unconditionally. So I just want to get some information out there about unconditional love, exactly what it is, how you can find that within yourself. And then once you do, that's what you're going to be showing to everyone else. And that's just going to raise everyone's vibration.
Oh, boy, I can't wait. And what kind of advice would you give to people that are on their path, know what they need to do, but don't have the conviction or the courage to fully step into that?
Well, I was there at one time, and I think I got through it with a lot of meditation, going within, figuring out why I wasn't ready to move on. I mean, a lot of the stuff that I put in the book is very personal, very deep personal experiences I had. And it was a little, daunting putting that information out there and thinking how people would react. But the truth is, the way you feel about yourself is way more important than what anyone thinks of you. So
say that again.
The way you feel about yourself is way more important than what anybody thinks of you. I know a lot of people that live their whole life based on, well, what would this person think? What would that person think? Who cares? What do you think about it? How do you feel about it? That's what's important. And people can only decide that for themselves. You can't decide for someone else. So, I mean, why bother trying to do that?
That's a very profound statement. And we've gotten away from that so much with, I don't know why, but it seems like a lot of people have turned their power over to others' opinions of them. And the social media backlash for people expressing statements or, you're using the wrong word or saying the wrong thing or, I don't know. It seems like it's gotten to be very permissive for others to offer their opinion or to tell you their opinion of you without being asked for it too. I think that that's gotten sort of over the top, I believe.
I do too. And it's funny, my mom was in her 70s and she would talk about, I think I'm going to do that. Oh no, I can't. What would people think? I'm 70 years old. I can't be doing something like that. Why not? Why do you care what other people think? Still at her age, she was very focused on what other people thought about what she did. And She didn't want to look silly to other people. And I always try to tell her, you got to think about how you feel about it and what you think of yourself and not worry about all these other people, you know?
Sometimes too, doing what you want, regardless of what other people think, and those people that you're worried about thinking silly may see you and go, boy, I wish I'd have done that. I should try that. And
No,
it
that's
gives, you know, it opens up to having the permission for them to do that sort of thing.
That's very true. Very true.
You know, if you're 70 years old and you want to go play on the swing set at the park, then go for it.
Oh, yeah.
I still fly my kite.
I think that's great.
You know, you have to do it. It brings you joy and happiness.
Exactly.
And you, in your book, you know, you mentioned a lot of personal things. There's some very poignant stories in here. Very honest, very poignant stories about your family and a lot of the things that your family has gone through and that you have gone through as a caretaker and helping members of your family transition, being at their side during such an auspicious time. So there's a lot of very poignant stories in here, but what I've read in here is that it's all a big connection of love and trust and faith, and taking that amazing connection, and it's like a starburst. You know, you've taken everything that you've experienced and shot it out and it's full of love, and it's just out there to reach every person that can benefit from it. So I want you all to take a look at this, Metamorphosis, A Journey of the Soul by Ruth Soltman. And you can get it on her website, which is ruthsoltman.com, where you can also schedule readings, right?
Yes.
And keep an eye out on her upcoming book and manifestation cards. So much more.
On my website, there's a place where people can share their stories about their spiritual awakening.
Oh, I love that idea.
Yeah.
I love that idea. We hear so many stories.
I know, and who knows, maybe they'll get compiled into a book. Then everybody can read them.
That's a lot of family togetherness. You know, honestly, that is spiritual family togetherness, all sharing the same or similar experiences. And what I see a lot on this show is that when someone is going through a difficult time or even a happy time, there's so much support from the viewers. And I know that would carry on through your book. Everybody's just here to support one another. So what a beautiful way to bring that together. And, you know, in your book, you also offer some challenges. I love this too. So Ruth says in her book that although the book is finally finished, her story is not. And Ruth is continuing to grow on every level and create change in her life and challenging herself to go above and beyond what her mind tells her to do. So she's not limiting herself to her thoughts or what somebody's idea of what you should, could, or would do. So Ruth is issuing challenges to all of us. May I read those challenges?
Sure, go ahead.
Ruth is challenging you to live your life outside the box. Make it a big circle, right?
That's right.
She's challenging you to listen to your inner voice, to live every day to the fullest, and to love, honor, and respect yourself, and to smile, because everybody needs a smile. I absolutely love it. And there's so much more in here that is, I find, very touching, very poignant, and it's one of these things that I wish I would have known that when. You put a lot of that together for us. So thank you for doing that.
Oh, good. You're welcome.
And tell me about the Angel Reiki.
Oh, well, you know, I started the Usui Reiki like 20 years ago, and it's always been amazing, and I love it. And it's so funny because when I was younger, I heard the word Reiki. No clue in the world what it was, but I knew it was something I was going to do. And then years later, I learned about it and found someone in my area, and so I started doing that. And recently, in the last year, I heard Angelic Reiki, and I thought, anything with the word angelic immediately grabs my attention. So I'm like, I know I have to do this. I have to do this. I got to find out what this is. So I looked it up, and It was really interesting. And I messaged a whole bunch of people like in my area that I thought might be doing it. And one person messaged me back like immediately. She's the sweetest lady in the world. And she did a Angelic Reiki class 1 and 2. So I took that, and it works with the angelic angels of the light kingdom. The energy and then the meditations that we do during this course are absolutely phenomenal. Never had energy like that before. All the angels are present. It's the most beautiful, light-filled. It's just absolutely amazing. And it's just different than the usual Reiki, if you want to call it that because it works strictly with the angels. And it's really incredible because it can bring up past life issues. It can bring up like things you didn't even know about yourself. And so I look forward to in the future, I'd like to take the 3 and 4 as well. But it's not so much that it's like a totally different kind of healing. It's very similar, the hands-on and all that. But just the feel of the energy for me was completely different.
There is nothing like angelic energy. There
absolutely
nothing like it in the world, in the universe.
Yes.
It just touches my heart every single time. Well, that's beautiful. And you use it on animals as well as people?
Mm-hmm. You can, yes.
Definitely. Oh, I bet they love that.
They do.
Oh.
When my kids were little, they're all grown now and have kids of their own. But even when they were little, they'd fall down outside. They couldn't, Mommy, do Reiki on me. They could feel it, and they knew right away that it made it feel better. And now my grandkids do that.
Really? Oh, yeah. Good for you. You're really a teacher. You really are a teacher. You're teaching people different ways of seeing light and being in the light.
Well, I'm trying.
Oh, you're doing a great job. You're doing a great job, Ruth.
Thank you.
So we've got just about 10 minutes left here, but what else would you like us to know about you?
I'm just like everybody else. We all have our own experiences that are unique to us, but we all have a lot of the same types of experiences as well. I'm just a girl trying to follow her path. And I really feel like I feel very empowered to help other people find their way and to live an authentic life. I see so many people that they're not living in their authenticity, and you can see it. And it just makes me really sad because it's just such an empowering place to be. And if I could help one person realize that about themselves and open up to that, I'd be thrilled. Absolutely thrilled.
It's beautiful. That is a very much needed undertaking and mission. And you are a leader. You are a leader and a teacher.
Well,
so helping lead people into the light, into a lighter way of being and living. So, you have my support 100,000%.
Well, thank you. I'm working on writing a program to maybe 10 weeks or so that will be somewhat based on the book, to help people grow in their authenticity and come to an understanding of who they are and wake up to who they are. So we'll see how that pans out.
Beautiful. I love it. Keep us updated.
Oh, I
so
will.
That the next time you're on the show, you can give us an update.
Sounds good.
And maybe we can pull some cards together.
Oh, that would be awesome.
And see what we get.
I'll make sure I bring them next time.
Joanne Leo and I did that on one show. We were doing, I laugh, I call it dueling cards. We were, pulling them at the same time. And a couple times the same ones came up, but it was a lot of fun.
Oh, that's funny.
To do it that way, to see what we each got for our viewers. It was a lot of fun.
Have you ever pulled a card for yourself and did it 3 times in a row and got the same card?
Yes.
Yeah, me too.
Yes. And it's usually, there's always one in every deck that I have a hard time interpreting. Every single deck, there's always one that's like, what does this mean? And, you have to pull like 6 other cards in order to get the message for it. But that's usually the one that I get 3 times. I'm like, that's not even funny. What does it mean? It's like their inside joke, I think. It's like, well, we're going to get her thinking about this. She doesn't know what it means. I don't. And Kristen says that happens a lot to her too. Yeah, I think they just have a sense of humor that way. But making us think. So I want to thank you very much for being on with us today, for sharing all of your insight, your personal stories, and how important it is to love yourself first, to care for yourself first, to trust in your intuition, to connect with your angels. And, I have to commend you, because I remember, I don't know, has it been about a year ago, that 9 months? I'm not sure exactly how long, but you were really kind of questioning if writing this book was the right thing for you to do. You really questioning if. So I'm so delighted to see it and have it in my hands.
Well, thank you.
I really commend you for following through on that, because this is obviously a labor of love. This is really a beautiful labor of love. So you're putting a piece of yourself out there into the world, like you said. And I know that when you're doing something like that, and it comes from your heart, it comes from your soul, and it's just part of your life that you're putting out there. So I'm very, very glad that you did. And may I be so bold to say, as I'm proud of you too.
Well, thank you very much.
Good work.
It was definitely a labor of love. I put a lot of my energy into that.
I can see there's a lot of love that goes into it. And it is all about using your experiences and knowledge to help other people move forward. And you talk about so many things, but it's just succinct. It's simple. And it's just beautiful.
Well, I've read a lot of books that, they were really hard to understand. And I'd have to look up words all the time because I really didn't understand. Because it was things I had never heard of. And I thought it would be a lot better for me to write a book just like the way I would talk, and simple and easy for people to understand. Because I could have really used that back then.
Yeah, we don't need a lot of woo-woo. We just need the truth.
Yeah, I just tried to get to the point and, do it with love.
Good job, man. Good. Kudos to you.
Thank you.
Kimberly says to thank you for being on and for telling her about your book. She says, this is another one that I need to get. Sujata thanks you also for the wonderful talk and offering love and light to us all. Oh, what a beautiful circle to be in.
It is.
So many wonderful people in this group, this Angels and Healing Light family. So thank you all for being here today. And thank you, Ruth, for being here today and sharing so much. And the sign behind you says it all.
Love.
For love. It just says it all.
Well, it was my pleasure, Laura. Thanks for having me.
Oh, I can't wait to have you on again in the future.
That sounds awesome.
All right. And we're going to do some angel cards together next time.
I will bring them.
Okay. And so, ladies and gentlemen, what we have coming up is that's Tuesday today, right? So we have Jeremy coming on this evening, Jimmy Mack. We've got the beautiful Melissa tomorrow. We have a whole lineup. We have, let's see, in December, we have only one spiritual message circle, and I think that's December the 12th. But check that out. It's the only one, and it books really, really fast. And that's where 5 of us give you messages. So check that out and book your slot because they fill fast. I'm only doing one more this year. Can you believe it? One more this year. It's almost December. We're having a little bit of a break for some of the shows for Thanksgiving and also for Christmas and the holy days. Also, next month, December the 8th, I believe it is, the wonderful Kimberly Maroney will be my guest. Well, let me check here. I think that's December. Yep, it's December the 8th. Reverend Dr. Kimberly Maroney, the Angel Lady, will be here again. So lots to look forward to. And please check out Ruth's book. Check out her website, ruthsoltman.com. Check out her book, Metamorphosis, A Journey of the Soul. And it is, I really recommend it. She's just got so much to give, and a lot of that she's put right between these pages. So check that out on her website or on Amazon. It's just beautiful. Some of the passages I was just moved to tears reading about. So I know you will be too, but those are good tears. Good tears, right? So let's get an angel message for everybody today. We've just got a couple minutes left. So let's just all take a minute. Take a deep breath and relax and let go. I'm just focusing on your heart. And letting go again. Just focus on your heart and the warmth and the beauty that is your heart. And knowing that the heart is the center of your being. Your heart is the center of love and light. And as you connect with your heart, feel the warmth that is radiating out and radiating out further around you. And knowing that energy from your heart is connecting to the divine, to God, to the angels. And the more you receive, the more you get. The more you're open, the more you receive. This is a beautiful, never-ending cycle. The angels are saying that you can receive as much love, much energy as you possibly are able to, just by being open and letting that love heal you and fill you and make you feel joy, helping change your life into the way that you want it to be, that's for your highest and greatest good, and for helping the people around you feel the same, just by your intention of sharing that love through your thoughts, through your intentions, energetically with others. Just by shining that God-given light to others, one by one, we help people connect with the light. We help people see and feel the light and get to know it, and let it help their lives transform into the beautiful light beings that we are. Yeah. So beautiful. So thank you all for being here today. I love to see you again very soon, like maybe next Tuesday. Thank you again, Ruth Soltman, for joining me today. I look forward to having you on again. And thank you, everybody, for being here. Thank you to Tiffany, Reverend Tiffany, White Sage Woman, my fabulous producer. And I will see you all next week. Be well. Many blessings. See you.
Become a Goldylocks Productions VIP patron. Receive exclusive access to live stream special and other epic perks. Join the Goldylocks Productions VIP community today.